Hey everybody, finally we're going to get started. Sorry we messed up on things Saturday, but I posted what happened. So anyway, we're going to take care of it today, and we got a lot we're going to do today. So we're going to be making pins, and I know a lot of you have already made some, and a lot of you hadn't, and maybe I can show you a few things that you haven't done and a few things that I'm doing. And I'll also show you the turner that I rigged up and had my son help me make, and then I'll show you one that I'm going to sell if anybody wants one. I'm not going to make a lot of them, but I will make a few, and they'll sell for about $12. So I'm going to show you that to begin with. Let me show you mine first. Mine will hold 41 pins, and it's made so it screws into my turner, and it will hold 41 at one time, and I could even put a cup right there if I wanted to in the middle. So anyway, that's the one that I designed for me, and I've been working with that for several weeks now. And so I thought, well, maybe I'd fix one that if somebody needed one that they could get real reasonable. And this is the one that I've got that's going to be for sale. This one will hold 24. The reason I did one smaller is because when you put it on the turner, it's got to have clearance around the bottom on your turner. Well, my turner is a stacked turner. It has 3 across the bottom and then 3 across the top. So I can put mine on one of the top ones and it turns really easy. But some of your turners might not turn one that big, but this one it will turn. And then this is where you put the pegs in it, and when you put them in there, they stay straight, they don't come out, they slide back and forth. So, and that's the one that I'll be selling for about $12. So if anybody wants one. Now this one, like to fit my turner, you'd be responsible for putting the end on here that screws into your turner. For my turner, this is the size. I glue it on there like this, and then that screws into my turner. I do have some arms that are 1 inch. So the ones that are 1 inch, then I had to get this bigger one, and it goes on, and then it screws into my turner. And then if you've got one, say your turner is where you need this part to screw into your turner rather than right the opposite of what mine does, then you can get, an attachment to go on there for that. So that would be your responsibility, getting the attachment that you need. But you would have the arm, you would have the turner with all of the disc, and it would come like this. And now these, the way that I do mine, I'll show you as we go along. I was trying to figure something out that would not let epoxy down into the pen, and that I could keep the edges cleaned. So I came up with this. Now, I first went to Walmart and I got one of the silicone straw toppers that you put on the top of your straw that you can wash, that you could suck through. It was bigger because it was thicker. I think you can tell right there, see the difference, how much bigger that one is. And it does not work good. It's too big. So I ordered these, and I got a pack of 100 for a little over $6, and they fit perfect. They slide right onto the end and of the turner. I'll get one right here and I can show you. This one, get it back where you can see it. This pushes right up into the end of your pen. Fits perfect, and that keeps it from going in the bottom. It doesn't stick. You won't have to worry about it getting stuck to your the stick. And then here I stick it into the top. The small part, you can stick it down into the top, and you just have to work with it just a little bit. And once you get it down in there, then I just twist it one way, twist it the other way, and go back and forth like that till I get it down in there to where it's going to stay pretty good. And then once I do that, then that's on there, and you don't have to, and it's no matter if it's crooked or what, but you don't have to worry about the epoxy getting down into your pen. And you do have to clean them. I put it on there before I spray painted mine, and I did that so that spray paint wouldn't get into the pen. So to clean it, I found once you spray paint it, once you glitter it, then if you'll just get small pieces of tape, and if you'll just hold them around the top, and stick it to it and pull it off, it pulls every bit of that paint off, and it pulls every bit of the glitter off. So that way you can clean that up. And you have to do it around the bottom too, because if you don't, you're going to have real rough edges, and I'm sure some of you've run into that. But that way that cleans it, and it's a simple hack to clean that. So we got that done. And we're going to be doing several today, so I'm going to turn you down. And I think we may have a little contest. I've got 16 pens done. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to let you look at the pens. And when you look at them, there's two things I want you to guess about each pen. So what I'll do, I will probably do a post so that you can remember. And before we get off this live, I'd like to see maybe 200 people watching. If you could get share and get some people watching, and whoever guesses right, I'll give them a tumbler, and we'll make it the way they want it. So when I turn you down, I'm going to show you the pens, and if you would, go ahead and get you a pen and a pencil, and you get you a pen and a pencil, and that way you can be writing down which number is which design. And then that way, then you can guess. And the two things that I want you to guess, I want you to guess the base color, and I want you to guess the glitter color. So I want you to do that on these. And if we can get about 200 watching, then we're going to go on, and I'll give whoever the winner is that gets all 16 pens correct, the base color and the glitter color. Then from there, we will give you a tumbler of your choice. Be a size 20 ounce, but you can decide on what design you want. So I'm going to turn you down and see if I can get you pulled up. And remember, I don't answer questions while I'm doing my live. So just remember, I will go back after the live and I'll answer any questions. And I will go back after the live and we'll look at who come up with all of the answers, and we'll see who got all 16 pens correct. But I'll go over those with you, so get you a pencil and paper, and I'll go with you what kind of pens they are and everything about them once I turn the screen down and once I get everything pulled up on my computer. So I'm going to turn on this light and see if that helps a little bit. I won't know till I get it pulled up on my computer. It may be worse than it is good. So let me see if I can get you pulled up. And just remember, if anybody pops on and asking questions, some of you that watch me all the time, if you'll just go back in there and let them know that I'll answer any of their questions once I get off of the live. So let me go in now and turn my volume off. It did pop right up, so I'll get the volume turned down. So, okay, let's see. I think I need to turn it a little bit that way. Let me get the delay going so I can see that the pins are where you can see them all. Okay. A little bit more. Let me wait for the delay, y'all, and see if that makes a difference. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, now I hope you got your pen and your paper with you, because we're going to go over them now. They are all the pens that I'm working on. They are the Papermate Ink Joy gel pens, and that's what most everybody that's doing them is using. So it's the Papermate Ink Joy gel pens. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. Okay, now this one is a wood grain. It's number 1, and I want you to guess the base color. This one doesn't have glitter. So this one, you would just guess the base color. I won't even make you guess the color of ink because it doesn't have glitter. This one is a camouflage. It does not have glitter, but guess the base color. This one is a pencil. Just guess the base color on it. It doesn't have any glitter in it. And this one is a glitter. And on it, it says, "Loved you then, now, and always." Guess the base color and the glitter. Let me go back and tell you, the wood grain was number 1. The camo with no glitter was number 2. The pencil with no glitter was number 3. And this one, the red one, is number 4. Guess the base color and the glitter color. Number 5, this one's mine. It says Judy Wilburn, and it is a beach theme, of course. Y'all all know I love the beach. I want you to guess the base color and the glitter colors. You don't have to have the exact name. Just tell me what colors I used on it. So, and I will post a picture. There was a picture on the announcement for the event, so you can go back and look at them on there. This is another pencil. I made this one for my granddaughter. She's in college. And guess the base color and the glitter colors. You don't have to get the exact name of the color, but just go ahead and tell me what colors of glitter. And then this is 2. This one is, let's see, 7 and 8. This one's for my 2 granddaughters. And now I'm going to tell you up front, I did on this use some of my old dump glitter. This is the first 2 that I did, and I just did these testing and practicing to see what I was going to do. So I just used some dump glitter on these. So I would not dare have you try to guess that, because there's no way I know what all's in it. But you can guess the base color that was on it, because you know our base colors do make a difference in what the glitters look like. So this is 7 and 8. So that'd be pretty easy. If you get one, you got both. And this one, guess the base color, the glitter color. And when I say glitter color, I'm not expecting you to give me the names of the glitter color, just a basic color. And then this one, it's got gnomes on it. I don't know if you can see the tail, and it says love on it. So guess the base color and the glitter color. And that one is number 10. This one is number 11. Guess the base color and the glitter color. This one is number 12. Guess the base color and the glitter color. Number 13 and number 14. If you guess one, you get them both. Base color and glitter color. These I haven't put anything on them yet. This one is number 14. Guess the base color and the glitter colors. This one is number 15. Guess the base color and the glitter color. And this one is number 17. Guess the base color and the glitter color. And the one that gets all of them right, or the one that gets the closest to all of them right, will be the winner. So I'm going to step back and step these out of my way so that I can go ahead and get everything else started. So that's the first 16 pins that I did. So that way you can guess on those and maybe win a tumbler. Trying to get them over here so they won't fall on the floor and make a mess. Okay, now we got that. And now we're going to start, and the first one that we're going to do is going to be a wood grain. So I've got just a white pen, and we're going to do a wood grain on it, and I am not going to put my gloves on and doctor up, and probably I'm going to wish that I had, but I'm going to see if I can get through it without getting it all over me. So we're just going to do this one in a wood grain. Do it just like you would a tumbler. It's a little bit different than working on a tumbler because they are small. And that glitter's already, that ink's already splattering. And this, it's hard to get it without it rolling around it, so. And I prepped my pen like I would a cup. I took off the clip off of it, and I sanded where the clip was. Once I sanded that, then I cleaned it, and then some of them I did a spray paint base. All of the white ones I did with this paint. It's Dixie Belle Slick Stick. Dixie Belle Slick Stick. And one coat, painted it on, let it dry, and then I was ready to go. That's Dixie Belle Slick Stick. But you could use acrylic paint. You might have to put 2 coats on there. But I know a lot of people live in areas to where it's too cold to get outside and actually paint. So that is a good alternative to getting outside and painting. So, as you can see, this runs all around your pen. So you just have to keep working with it. And then what I'll do, I may go ahead and epoxy some of them on our second video. But I will have some of them already epoxied so that you can see what they look like. Because you don't want to wait for me to epoxy all these pens that we're going to be working on today, I can assure you. I will epoxy 2 today. I might epoxy this one because it'll be pretty dry by the time we get through the other stuff that we're going to be doing. And that lighting is just horrible. Let me see if I can get something going to where maybe you can see it a little bit better. I hate that I can't figure something out to help it where you can see it better. And remember, I don't answer questions when I'm doing lives. I go back after the live's over and I'll answer the questions either tonight, this afternoon, or tomorrow. I'll probably do them tonight if I can get them all done, if there's that many before dinner. And if not, well, then we'll go back and do them later. Now, I can tell you the difference I see in this pen that's wood grain and the other one that I did that was wood grain. The other one that I did was wood grain. I epoxied over it first. Painted it white, epoxied over it. Painted it white again. And then I did the wood grain. And I can see the difference. I don't know if you can see all these spots that are just made into the pen. I didn't think about that on this one, but you can see all these spots, and they're just little bitty dots all the way down it. See if I can get it up where it shows better. I'm waiting for the delay to come on so that I can see if that's showing it any better. So give me just a minute to see if it comes up. Yeah, you can see it there. See all those little spots on it? You couldn't see them on the other one, because the way I did it, I sprayed it white, I epoxied it, I sprayed it white again, and then I did the wood grain. So that made a difference. So just keep that in mind. When you're doing the wood grain, you do want to epoxy it first. Now this one, I can go ahead and put epoxy on it today. I can spray it white again, and then do the wood grain again, and it will cover that up. So that's not a loss. It's something that can be fixed very, very easily. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the wood grain on this one for that reason, because we will go back and do that. But I do these wood grains just like I would on a cup. I'm to the point now to where I'd really be working on getting the grains in there so it would look like a wood grain. But there's not much need in spending a lot of time on it when I can see I need to go in and take care of those spots, because I would not sell a pen that had these spots showing on it, and I don't think you would either, because they show right here on the top, right here on the top, here on the top, and then here they're all the way down the pen. So I would not sell a pen like that for that reason, and I wouldn't want you to either. Okay, so we got that one done. And now the next one that we're going to do, it's something that, and by the way, I did Black Bear Glitters is where I got the espresso that I used on that wood grain pen. So now this one, this is one that I'm going to do with a technique that I've not done on a cup yet, because I had just got in all of the material to do this. and it's something new that I will be doing on a cup, but I hadn't done it yet, so I'm going to do it on a pen. It's called Foil that we're going to put on here, and it's by Artistic Painting Studio. And I already picked out the foil that I'm going to use. This foil, the name of it is Odell, and I don't know if you can see it that well or not. Let me wait for the delay and see if it will come up and show it. Give me just a minute. Let's see. Trying to get it with the delay to see if you can see it. You may can see it better down here than you can up close. But anyway, it's got all different colors in it. And to use the foil, it has a glue, and you could probably use tack-it with this. But it comes with a foil adhesive, and I'm not going to turn it up sideways so you can see it because I don't want to get it on my lid. But anyway, I put that on there, and the directions say to let it stay for about 30 minutes before you try to put it on whatever you're putting it on. So it's real tacky now. So I'm going to lay this down, and then I'm just going to lay this on here, and I'm going to roll it. Mash this down, and roll it some more. And when I get it to where it's all the way around the pen, then I'm going to pull it off. And then we're going to go around the bottom where we didn't get any. And we're going to roll it around the bottom. And then we're going to pull it off. And then once you get that on there, if you see some spots where it doesn't look like there's any, then all you got to do is just touch it up. And touch it up. Get it around the top good. And you don't want to throw your foil pieces away because you can use them on something else. Okay, let's see if you can see that. I did put it right there's the one. It doesn't look like it. Right there's a spot. Let me find it again, right in there. Rub it on there really good. But you don't want to throw it away because if there's any little spots left on there that didn't pull off on the pen, then these spots you could use on something else. So don't throw it away until it's all gone because you don't want to waste it, that's for sure. But I think you can see the pen now and see how it turned out. I think it's really pretty. Let me get for the delay and see if you can see it. But that's something that you might want to look at doing. You can't see it real good in the camera, but anyway, when I do the picture of the finished product and I lay them out, then you'll be able to see it. But it turned out real pretty. But now this one I will go ahead and epoxy it. It'll be ready for epoxy. So we'll set that one over to the side. And then I've got one that I'm going to put some tack-it on. And with it, we're going to use Black Bear glitters that is from the Twilight series. And the color of this one is Twilight. And it is an ultra fine. And I've got... I thought I had another white one. I don't see another white one. I'll go ahead and put it on one that I've already glittered, because I want you to see how it works on a pen. So let me get something now to put my tack-it in. Don't take much. So I'm going to put just a little bit. Now when I do tack it, I mix it half and half. And I keep what I've already mixed in a container by itself. And what I hadn't mixed, I keep it up on the shelf. So we'll just put this all over the pen. Normally I would do this on a white or a different color background. to match whatever I'm working on. That one you could use hot pink, you could use pink, you could use purple, you could use mauve, you could use eggplant, whatever you want to use. Yeah, I'm just going making sure I got it on here good. Because we'll dry this with the heat gun. And remember, I'll go back in and answer questions after the live is over. So, and any questions you've got about names of what I'm using or colors of what I'm using, I'll go back and answer those too. So don't think I'm ignoring you, because I'm not. I just, when I work, I don't stop and answer questions then. I go back after the live is over and answer the questions. And this will be on replay. If any of you want to go back and watch a replay and pick up some of the answers there, you can do that. Okay, now I'm going to set that out of the way. I've got a little bit of water over here where I'm going to wash my brush out just a little bit. Now I'm going to hit it with a heat gun. Ideally, you would want to let your tack-it just dry, and it'd take about probably 15-20 minutes for it to dry. But since we're speeding things up, we're going to do it a little bit different. And we'll hope that's dry enough. Now let me get a plate to put our glitter in. I got it over here beside me, but I just can't get to it. Okay, again, this is Black Bear's glitter, and it is Black Bear Glitters, and it's Twilight. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Cover it really, really, really well. This is really a pretty, pretty color. Okay, now I'm going to bump it off. And I'm going to pour this back into the container. And let me see where I can stand this up, because I don't want it to be where it's going to lay down. Okay, see how fine that is? It's just beautiful. And it will have a little bit different color effect on different color bases too. Okay, and we're going to set that color out of the way. Gonna get it back over here now. Now we're going to start the magic. And you just lightly rub it. You don't have to work hard at all. I'm just barely letting my finger rest on it. So just keep in mind when you're doing your pens, most anything you do on a cup, you can do on a pen. You just might have to figure out a little bit different way to do it. Just rub it lightly, and this gives you a holographic glitter, and it will just give you an effect that's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I don't know if it's where you can see what that looks like. Let me wait till it comes up on the screen, and then we can tell if you can see it. Can't see it real good. But anyway, it's beautiful, beautiful. You'll be able to see it once we get it, when I do the finished product and get the lighting on it that way. This lighting I've got when I'm working is just not adequate, and I don't know what to do about it. If anybody's got any suggestions, let me know. Okay. Now, get my fingers cleaned off. You know that Rick showed us how to do the cups with Second Amendment on it. Well, we're going to do some pens with Second Amendment. I did part of his idea, and I did part of Jacqueline's idea. She did hers basically like Rick's, except she used stickable decal paper. She printed it on the printable vinyl, and when she printed on printable vinyl, then she just stuck it on her cups. So that's what we're doing with these pens. And this is one of the pens, and we're going to do it on a white one. This is on a black base. All I did was paint the pen black, and this one all I did was paint it white. And let me get my weeding pen, and we'll use it. I'm going to pour my little tiny decals out, and with my weeding pen I pull from the back of the printable vinyl, and it makes it pick up a little bit better, because then I can start with the decals and put them on there where I want them. So there's no rhyme or reason where you put them. You just put them anywhere that you want to, that makes you happy. And these, I've got two that I'm going to be doing, that when we do them we can go ahead and put some epoxy on these two. And then this is the We the People, and I'm going to put it right here around the top. And you won't want to be moving them around much if you don't epoxy it first, because it will pull the paint off. And then this one is the American flag. Stick it on here. Like I said, no rhyme or reason. You just put them where you want them. And you can do this with any kind. If you want to do a photo pen, you could take photos and print them on the printable vinyl. And when you print them on the printable vinyl, then you can turn around and stick them on the pen. Of course, you'd have to make them really small. This one's not wanting to pick up. For some reason. There we go. And it came up. It's got a mind of its own. But be sure and you try to put everything so when you're holding the pen, you can read it. So that's the only thing that you got to look at. These round ones are not wanting to come up. And let me keep working with it, y'all. We won't give up. There we go, finally. Like I said, it's got a mind of its own. Everything we do with tumbler related does, doesn't it? Making sure I got it turned the right way. And it doesn't matter if they overlap some. That won't be a problem. But like I said, anything pretty much you can think of that you would do with a tumbler, you can do with a pen. Okay, got one more that we're going to put on there. And then when we get ready to epoxy, we'll epoxy these. And then we'll give these a little bit of an age look too. Okay, now we've got those done. And that's Second Amendment pens. Okay, we'll put these over here so when we get ready to epoxy. And when I did mine, I waited till I got about half of them done and did a coat of epoxy after I did a cup, so that I would have that epoxy left from a cup. I mixed up a little bit extra so that I would have it. So now these are the colored ones. They're the same kind of pen, but they're colored. And I did go in and do the same thing to them. I cut off the I don't know what you call them anyway, the holders that if you want to stick them in your pocket or something, you can. So once you do that, then you can sand them, prep them, get them ready to go, and do the same thing to them that you're doing with the others. I did not put any paint on these because what I'm going to do, we're going to epoxy these and we're just going to put the glitter on them. But I'm going to mix some epoxy, and like with this one, since it's a gold colored, I'm going to be using Black Bear Glitter's Electrum. It's a mix, and it's a beautiful, beautiful mix. So that's what we're going to put on this one. And then for the blue one, we're going to use Black Bear Glitters, and it'll be Atlantis, and it is a ultra fine. And we're going to put that on this blue one. And then for the purple one, we're going to be using Violet Haze, and it's a coarse texture of Black Bear Glitter. That's what we'll be putting on the purple one. And we're going to do it with the epoxy method. So we're not going to be mixing a whole lot of epoxy. So let me see what I did with my cup. Here we go. Now, let me see. I think probably for the 4 pens, and then these 3 that I'm going to be doing with glitter, I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of A and 1 teaspoon of B. Let me get me out some baby wipes. Baby wipes are our lifesavers. Okay. And I use measuring spoons to do my measuring. A lot of people use cups with the measurements on the cups. A lot of them use syringes. So whatever works best for you, that's what you use. There's no way that's the right way or the wrong way. You just do it your way, what works better for you. I've been doing this for way over 3 years, probably closer to 4 years now. And I've used the same mixing spoons the whole time, measuring spoons. That's what I use, and I just clean them every time I use them and use them over and over and over and over. And that's what I started out doing. Probably I started out doing that because I'm not into centimeters and milliliters and all that kind of stuff. So that was before my time, I guess. They're trying to come around with all of that by the time I got out of school and started having a family and all that fun stuff. So this just works for me. And remember, when we're doing the pens, we'll do them just like we do the cups. We're going to do very, very, very little epoxy on them. And this, I will go ahead and put some of the Casting Craft transparent blue in it, because it is some of it's going to be on the top of the pens. If it were just the glue under it, I would not use it. But since it's going to be on the top of the ones that are the Second Amendment, I'm going to go ahead and put just a little in there. You do not even put a drop. If you can see, very, very little did I put in there. You just want enough. This is the I use a Lumilite Amazing Clear Cast. That's all I've ever used. And I'm fixing to order some of the Amazing Clear Cast Plus, which it does not yellow like the old. So when I get it, I'm going to try a white cup just for myself to test it, because I don't want cups turning yellow. First set of cups I did that turned yellow, I did a mini mouse set for a mom and a daughter, and it did turn yellow in a very short time. The top part was white, the bottom part was the black and red with the polka dots, and the white part did turn yellow. So I've used this in it ever since. The Casting Craft transparent blue dye, and it doesn't take a drop. If you put a drop in there, you got too much, because it's going to be really, really blue. You can see just that tiny amount gives it a blue tinge, but that does not even show on a white cup, so you won't have to worry about that showing on a white cup. And we're going to stir it for 2 minutes. And we're going to do our glitter first, because with the glitter, it's not going to matter about letting it set because of bubbles. And then by the time we get ready to do the two that are Second Amendments, then the bubbles will be gone, because they come to the top and most of them pop anyway. Man. And remember, if you're just coming on, I don't answer questions while I'm doing the live. I will go back and answer any questions that you've got after the fact. So just remember that. And we'll get you some answers. And we're just about through with it. It's down to 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And I got my stirring stick from Black Bear Glitters. I've always used wooden spoons, nothing else. And so I've tried these from Black Bear Glitters, and I really like them. I don't think there are as many bubbles using these, and they're very easy to clean. Just 2 wipes, and then you can't even tell that you've had anything on it. So that is working for me, and I really like it. So get me out another baby wipe, and I'm going to put on a glove. And here we go. We're going to put our epoxy on in very little. And just keep in mind, like these, if I were not putting glitter on this, it would be a problem like the wood grain that I did, because of the little dots that's in the pen automatically. They're just on there. So it would be a problem because it would show up. But doing it with the glitter on top of it, they're not going to show. And just that little bitty bit of glitter, of epoxy, is all I'm going to use to put the glitter on. And I'm going to go ahead and I think epoxy all 3 of them. And then that way I can come back and put the glitter on. That way I'll have my glove on rather than taking it on and off. So let me turn my stand. I got one of those little stands that they have at Dollar Tree for $1, and they work great. If you don't have one working with pens, they are great to work with pens. And I'm just barely touching my finger in the epoxy. I don't know what that is. Piece of fuzz. I got my heater on under my table at my feet. My studio is in my basement, so it gets pretty cool down here, and I have to have a heater to sort of knock the chill off. Make sure you get it all over the pen, top to bottom. And you can pretty much tell by feeling that one. It feels like it just needs just a tad more. And the pens I'm not heating because they are rubber, plastic. And I don't want the heat to warp them. Normally on my cups, when I do epoxy method, I heat it. And that makes the epoxy go on really, really smooth. And you want to make sure you get around the bottom and around the top. And if you can see these silicone straw toppers, they really do the job. Because that way you hadn't got, and at the bottom you hadn't got to worry about it sticking to the wood and breaking off in there then when you try to get it off. So rub that down. Now we're going to do the third one. That was the second one. Okay. And these are the ones that we're going to put the glitter on. And then what we're going to do next, I think y'all are going to like. Some of you may have seen it done this way. I started doing mine about 3 weeks ago. Okay. Got that one ready. Now we're going to put the epoxy on the now this I'm just going to put a light coat of epoxy on it so it won't have to turn right now. Just enough to get this laid down and sticking. And I'll probably turn them just a little bit after a while. But these are the second amendment. And after this dries, then I'll put some distress look on it. And after I get the distress look on it, then I'll go in and put the last coat of epoxy. Okay. And here's the black one. And I mixed up way too much epoxy. And when you do it around the top, you don't want to poke it down in there, but you just want to barely rest your finger around the top so that you get it around the top good. Same thing around the bottom. Rub it down to the bottom. And once you get it all around your pen, rubbing it around the bottom, then just barely rest your finger and turn it so it seals that bottom good. And I did not seal this printable vinyl. And as you can see, it's not running, it's not doing anything anywhere. It just stays on there and looks really, really good. Okay, normally this epoxy, I would put it in a mold, but I'm not going to take time to do that while we're doing this because I don't want to take up the time to do it. So I'm going to set it out of my way. Clean my hand. Get another plate. Now we're going to do some glitter. Okay, now this is chunky. It's a mix. So it's got chunky in it and all the other colors in it too. This is a beautiful, beautiful glitter. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Let's make sure you got it covered good. Then bump it. And then we're going to pour this mix back into the container. Bump it down, get it all in there. Okay. Now again, this color is by Black Bear Glitters, and it is Electrum, and it's a mix. It's got all different sizes in it. And since this is a chunky, I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper, and I'm just going to lay the pen on it, and I'm going to wrap it in that, and then I'm just going to roll it and mash it down as I roll it. Just back and forth, just so it will lay those chunks down. I'm not rubbing it, I'm rolling it. If you rub it, you'll rub it off. This just lays it down. And then I'm going to take a baby wipe, and you can see where it's around the top on the silicone. I'm just going to take my baby wipe and go around it and just wipe that off. And then when I wipe that off, then I can see anything that's sticking up. Just pat it down with my finger. I'm going to do the same thing around the bottom where it's sticking over the silicone down here. Just take your baby wipe and wipe around it. Clean that off. Okay. Now, take my finger and just barely tap it on any that I see standing up. Okay. And this is the one that's the Electrum. Now, there's one standing up. Okay. And we're going to put that over here. Get out another baby wipe. Wipe my finger off. And now for the blue one. This one we won't have to roll because this is a ultra fine. It's Atlantis. I'll take the top off so I can pour it on there. I like doing that better. This is very, very pretty. Now this is a color that I will use next time I make a beach tumbler. Very, very pretty. And these I'll just have to wait and see if it has to have a second coat, because I didn't paint it, because you know it did have some plastic showing, and it did have and I can see I will I don't know if you can see it, but right, let me see if when I turn it you can see it. You can see the plastic right in this section right in here where it was the plastic is colored, but still it's not deep enough that you can't see it change colors. You can see it a little bit, I think, on the screen. But anyway, this one will have to have a second coat for that reason. And this, I'm not going to clean the bottom and the top. I'll do that like I showed you how I did it with the tape around this. Once it dries, then we'll do the tape to take that off, and it takes it right off. And let's get this back in the container. This is just a, I don't know if you can see it, it's a real fine, ultra fine. You could use this one with the tack-it method too, and it worked really well. Now this jar is one of the newer jars that's a little bit bigger. They put the same amount, but it's a little bit bigger jar than the others. So this one has a the dump side as well as the shaker side. Okay, and that one is called Atlantis. Okay, now we're going to do Violet Haze. And we're going to do it on the purple. Violet Haze. And this one is a coarse mixed. It's a little bit different than the others. And this one I'll do like I did the one that was the actual mix that had chunky and coarse and fine, and I don't know if it has ultra fine in it. I know it has those three in it. And I will take my baby wipe and we'll wipe around the top. Smooth that off a little. And the bottom. And we'll set the glitter aside just a minute. Got one more piece of the parchment paper. We'll lay it down, wrap it over it, and then I'm just going to roll it. I'm not going to rub it, just roll it. Remember, if you rub it, that glitter will just glide off. You just want to roll it. And what that does, it just helps to press that glitter down. I can see right there, I need a little bit more on that, so let me get my... And this one, anytime you're using any glitter, if you'll do your base in the color of your glitter, it makes all the difference in how much glitter you have to use. Makes a big, big difference in how much glitter you have to use. And I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to wrap it, and I'm just going to roll it. Okay. Now that's covered. And that's called Violet Haze. Violet Haze. Okay. And let's get this back in the container. Then we're going to go on to something else that I think you're going to love. And some of you may have already seen what I'll be doing next, but I've been working on them about 3 weeks to get them the way I want them, so we're going to make some really pretty pins. Very easy way. Now, get this out of my way. hands off again. And now we're going to do some water slides on the pens. And I brought some hot water down. Put it in my personal tumbler. My beach theme. I did a shell that looks like a window and did it for a beach theme. So that's mine that I take with me when I go, wherever I go. Okay. Now we're going to get some of these out over here and I'll show you what I do with the water slides. Need to get me some paper towels to dry with. Okay. Now these are the water slides that I'll be doing. This over here so we can see it. Now when I do them in sheets like this. And that way then when I cut them out, then I'm ready to go. So we're going to be doing some today, and you'll get to see how they look on the pens. This one is a marble. This one will be a mermaid pencil. This one is a V with a marbling. This one is a leopard print. This one will have roses and glitter. This one is a leopard print, and then this one has several different animal designs on it. I don't know that I'll use that one. I have one here that is the pencil one, and I have one that is tie-dye. I've got the sunflower, got a beach theme, got We the People. So we're just going to dump several in here and have a fishing lure. We're just going to put several in here and let them be doing their thing. Then we're going to do our thing, because this will move pretty fast. I'm going to be able to show you just the different looks you can get with one color of glitter. Now this glitter is by Black Bear Glitters, and this is the AG47. AG47, and that's what I put on all of these that we're going to be working with today. So with all of them you'll be able to see what they're going to look like. So once we get some that's ready to turn loose, then we can get started. Let's give it just a minute and let them turn loose good in the water. And I don't know that we'll do all these that I've got fixed. Depends on how fast it goes, whether or not we'll do it. We've got about 66 watching, it looks like. So we may do a few more. And with these, you go ahead and you will wet your pen just like you do when you're doing your putting one on your cup. And then the part that's going to go around the top, I take my scissors and I just snip it a little bit all around, just across the top. The top of the pen turns in and is smaller, so that's the reason. And this that's white on the sides, that's clear. It's not going to show, but it gives you a little bit of extra that you can wrap and work with it. So this one was turning loose in the water, so let's see if we can get it to turn loose here. There we go. Okay. Now I want to make sure in the middle that I've got it lined up around the bottom of the pen. And I've got my brush here so that I can brush any water out of it. Make sure you get it lined up, and you can see where that curves over the pen, and that's what you want. And just get it lined up. Do one side at a time, and I could tell it was a little bit crooked. And you want to make sure you cover it around the bottom good. Just take your brush, lightly brush it. Brush it down all the way around, make sure it's down around the bottom. Okay, now I have some little pieces, but I don't see them. It's going to take and I'm going to have to tear it. Don't want any big pieces in the way, so we're just going to make us a bunch of little pieces. Easier to work with a pen than working with a full-size paper towel. So out of one paper towel, I'm making a bunch of pieces. That way it'll wrap around it easier and be easier to work with. See how much easier that is? And I'm just barely rubbing it. Make sure we're getting the water out. And when I get around the top, I'm just going to barely mash in around the top to get it to stick around the top. And you might want to wet it just a little bit more where when you've been working with it, it's dried out a little bit. And mash it in, and where you clipped it, that makes it curve around that top. Around the bottom, do the same thing, just mash it in. Don't try to move it around, but just mash it in. Okay, now we've got a fishing lure. Okay, we'll put that one out of the way. Now, let's see what we got next. Okay. And remember, we're going to snip it a little all the way around the part we're going to put on the top. About maybe 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't take a lot. Okay, and then I want to wet my pen. Slide it off easy. And then sort of while it's wet, make sure you get it sort of straight. And you still got time to work with it as you go. Pull it up just a hair. Just take your time. And every one of them's going to go on just a little bit different. Pushing it up, mashing it in at the top. Push it up, mash it in. Now I'm not pushing it up hard, I'm just barely making sure it's smooth, trying to make sure any water that's in it goes to the top and comes out. And then when I mash it in, that makes it cling around the top where we cut the little slits. Do the same thing around the bottom. Push any water out around the bottom, but do it lightly. Okay. And I'm putting these in my stand as I'm putting them down. That one's curling up just a hair. Let me see if I can get it straightened out. There we go. Now the roses I think we're going to put at the bottom. So this one I'm going to snip where the glitter is for the top. Get it to the edge. Barely snip it, about 1/8 or 1/16 of an inch. It doesn't take much. Wet your pen, just like you do when you're putting a water slide on a cup. Work with it and try to make sure you're getting a straight line right here. Line it up around the bottom. Most times you keep it lined up around the bottom, then you're going to have a straight line. Pressing the water out. And using this AG47, it gives just what you want for the glitter, and every pen looks like you put a different color glitter on it. And remember the white that was around the edges, all that is just leaving a little on there, so when you wrap it, it makes it a little bit easier, have something to overlap to. So when you're actually smoothing it down, it's not going to catch on the side and tear it. Now we're going to start moving water out to the top, and I'm just barely mashing it. And then press in when you get to the top where we cut the grooves. That makes it sort of lay around the top. And then you want to do the same thing around the bottom. We're sort of letting the water rub out. Mashing it around the bottom and around the top. Okay. There you go. That one's got the roses on the bottom. Need to mash it just a little bit more. And these, you don't want to put epoxy on them until they're good and dry. And I'm putting them back over here in my holder. Okay. Now, let's see what the next one is. They're surprising me when they come up because I've got them turned down, facing down in the water. Snip it around the top. Wet your pen with water. Make sure you get it straight. Just barely mashing it. Okay. Pressing the water out around the top and just barely mashing it in around the top of the pen where it's a little bit smaller at the top. And I have had these where I had to go back after I did them and put just a little bit of alcohol ink right around the top. This one looks like maybe a little bit of the white's going to show. So all I'll do is just go in and take just a little bit of alcohol ink with a tiny, tiny brush and touch that up once the water slide is dry. And that was my fault. Probably I cut it a little bit short when I was cutting them out, because they're all sized exactly the same. So I did that when I was cutting them out. But when you're cutting them out, I always leave white down each edge, which is clear once you put it on the pen. But the tops and bottoms, you want to cut those pretty much the way they're sized, the way that I sized them. Alright. Like I said, this one I will go in and around the top where I've got that little bit of white showing, I'll touch that up with just a tiny bit of alcohol ink. Oh, this is the V. So I think we'll put the V at the bottom, put the marbling at the top. So I'm going to cut some slits at the top. And now we want to wet our pen. Slide it up from the bottom. Brush it easy. Rub it easy to the top. That's barely pushing the water out. Down to the bottom. Pushing the water out. And then anytime you need to touch up the top or bottom, the thing to do it with is alcohol ink, because it'll just sort of seep down into it. And I'll do that before I put epoxy on it, anytime there's any white showing. But this has got the marble design in it, and it's the V. Okay. I'm always surprised at the one that's going to come up next. Okay, this is the one that's just marble. And one thing I would suggest is not putting them all in the paper at one time. I mean, in the water at one time. Wait a few minutes before you put them in there. My water's already got cold. Now this one's going to have just a very hint of color. Right there, my water slide. There we go. See the yellows and the purple and the blue. Hint of pink. Very subtle colors. The sky blue shows up a little bit more than the other colors, but I can see the colors pretty distinctly. I think you can see them on the screen too. Think you can. Think you can. Okay. Now you can see the colors. Yellows and pinks and blues. It's really pretty. Now let's see what this one is. This one's one that's going to be a pencil. It's going to be a mermaid pencil. Okay, wet your pen. Slowly wrap it around. And thank the ones of you that ask about my son. He's doing great. It was a real scare when you get that call that your child's been in a wreck, but he's doing good. And this one, again, when I was trimming it, evidently I cut it a little bit too short. I did them by hand rather than doing them with my cutter. But I will go in and put a little bit of pink alcohol ink around the top. And then when we put the tip on, it will just blend in with this, the lead part around the bottom. Okay. And I think that's all we're going to do for today. We've got some more that we can do, but I'm not going to do any more. But you get the gist of what you can do with one color of glitter and then all of the different colors of your water slides. Okay. All right there, I pulled it apart. There we go. But I hope that was something that give you an idea of what you could do with pens. You can do pretty much anything with pens that you can do with your cups. So, and if any of you decide that you do want to get one of the turners that holds the pens, they're $12. You'll get the turner, the arms. You'll get enough of these dowel rods with the tips. They'll come with a tip on each end, but you use one tip and then the other tip you put in the end of your pen when you put it on. But you'll get all of that and it'll be $12, so plus shipping. So if you decide you want one, you let me know, and like I said, you'll be responsible for putting whatever attachment is needed to make it work on your turner. So that's something that I'm not even going to try to make them fit everybody's turner. So if that's something you think you'd be interested in, you just let me know. And I hope y'all have a blessed rest of the evening for this Sunday. And if you got the questions in there, then I'll go back and answer them. But let me get the pens over here one more time and go over them for people that came in last with the contest that we're having, where you can win a 20-ounce tumbler of your choice. Okay, and if you've got your pencil and paper, then that's a good thing, because we can go over them and you can, again, make sure you got them down right. And what you're going to do, you're going to guess what color the base is and what color the glitter is. And when I say what color glitter, you don't have to put the name of the glitter. Like with this one, you'd go in and say what colors you think these glitters are. So that will be up to you. Now, number 1 is a wood grain. That one, you can guess what color base that we did. You don't even have to guess what color ink. This one, it doesn't have glitter. This one is a camo. Guess what color base it's got. This one's a pencil. No glitter. You can guess what color base it's got. This one, guess what glitter and what base it's got. That one's number 4. This one's number 5. Guess what color base and what color glitters. Number 6. What color base and what color glitters. Both of these I did. These are the first 2 that I did. I did these with my dump glitter. And you can't guess what color glitters in there, but you can guess what color base it is. So you can guess what color base is in these 2. If you get one of these right, you'll get both of them right. And those are 7 and 8. This one's number 9. Guess what color base. We can see what color glitter. This one is number 10. This one has gnomes on it and it says love. This one is number 11. Guess what color base, what color glitter. Both of these, you get one, you get both. What color base, what color glitter. This one is number 14. Guess what color base, what color glitter. 15. What color base, what color glitter. And 16. What color base, what color glitter. And then should we have a tie, then we'll figure out something to break the tie, because I'll give one away, be a 20-ounce, and we'll do the design that you want. So this, you'll have a chance to think about it, and Monday night I'll announce who entered, what they guessed, or I may just make a post showing, what they guessed. We'll see whichever way it'll be the easiest for me to get it on there so everybody can see. But guess what color base and what color glitter, and there's 16. So y'all have a great evening, and I hope this showed you a few things maybe that you had not done or not seen with a pencil, so, with a pen. So you can get busy and make some more. They're fun to make, and they're I enjoyed making them. So y'all have fun with them, and I want to see some of the things that you do. So let me get some of this up out of the way, and we'll say good night. Y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye.